Hey guys, okay, so for this lesson, we're going to be learning about box plots. They're also known as box and whisker plots because basically it just looks like a box and it has two lines coming out of it, similar to whiskers, which is why sometimes it's referred to as that. Our book uses the term box plots, but I wanted you to be sure that you knew both terms because in IXL they're going to use the term box and whisker plots. Okay, so first write down vocabulary. Box plots are just a way to show a distribution of data values on a number line. Okay, so it's just a way to kind of get a visual, different than a histogram, of what data values you have. Now, basically what a box and whisker plot does, or a box plot, is that it breaks up your data into what we call quartiles. Now, if you think of the name quarter or quartile, you should be thinking of quart, like 4. The number 4 should kind of come to mind, or breaking it up into fourths or 25%. So a quartile is breaking our data up into 4 equal parts. Okay, and 4 equal parts are like 25%. So each part would be worth 25% of the data. So now what I'd like you to do is draw this number line, 0 to 10. I'd like you to put a dot above 2 and a vertical line above 4 and sketch it so it looks as best you can like the one that you see here. The numbers in the box, these are your data. So this is the data for this box and whisker plot. And we use that data to create this box plot. And I want to tell you what these values are. Each one of these values, each one of these 5 parts help us to break it up into quartiles and help us display the data. Okay, the first parts, which are the 2 ends, those are probably the easiest. The one all the way to the left is called our minimum, which is your lowest value. That's easy enough. You look at your data, 2 is the lowest value. The purple one, all the way right, is our maximum, which is our largest value. So we have a minimum and a maximum. Those are 2 values we need. The green, I'm going to jump into the middle, is one that you already know as well. That's your median. It breaks our data up into half the data here, 50% over here, and the other half on the right, 50% over here. So it breaks our data up into halves. We want quarters. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our lower half and we're going to cut that in half. So we're going to find the median of our lower half, and that's what we call quartile 1. I did forget to mention here in the median, we also call that now our second quartile. Just so you know that we have our first quartile is the median of the lower half of the data. We have the regular median that you're used to. That's called your second quartile. And then the one on the right is the median of the upper half, and we call that the third quartile. Okay, so we have a minimum, we have a maximum, we have first quartile, which is the median of the lower half. We have second quartile, which is your normal median, breaks it up into a half. And then we have the third quartile, which is the median of the upper half. Those 5 values help us to make a box plot. So let's go through and figure out all the steps that we need to do. I'm going to erase my board first. I'm going to give you steps and we're going to do an example together. Okay, so you should write down the steps. You can decide to make them going down if you want or going across your notebook. That's up to you. The first step that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to put the numbers in order from least to greatest. So now if you're going to do your steps going down one side of your notebook, maybe you want to do the example right next to it in the next column. So putting the numbers in order, I'm going to do that for you. You can just copy that down first if you would like. The numbers in order, I took them from this box over here, and I put them in order, and I have 0, 1, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. And those are the numbers in order from least to greatest. The reason why you need to do that, remember from median, you have to have numbers in order from least to greatest. Okay. Step 2. You're going to write a table of 5 values that needs to be filled in. You should always write down minimum, maximum, and that's what I have over here, min, max, Q1, quartile 1, Q2, median or quartile 2, and Q3 for quartile 3. Those 5 values. Once you have those 5 values filled in, you can make your box plot and you're all set to go. Okay, step 3. Identify the minimum, maximum, and median. I chose to do those first just because those are ones you know already. So when I look at my numbers, my minimum, the lowest number, is 0. Okay, that's easy enough. My maximum is the largest number, 10. Done there. Okay, the median, the middle number, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 numbers. That would mean our 6th number is the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. And I already circled it for you. That's your Q2. That's your median of all of the data. That's breaking up the data in half. Okay, to get our quartile 1, I'm just going to grab a pen to kind of visually show you what you have to do. Okay, we're on a color. So over here, this is your lower half. You want to find the middle, not including your median. You want to find the lower half. This is actually step 4, and I should have dragged this off. Sorry. Step 4, find the median of the lower half of the data, not including your median, and then the upper half. Okay, so we're not going to include that 5. We have 0, 1, 3, 3, and 4. So we need to find the middle there. Well, 0 and 4 would cancel each other out, 1 and 3. So 3 is our median of the lower half. That's also known as quartile 1. Okay, so I'm going to grab my mouse and drag that away. Okay, I see that my 25% is back. I'm just going to erase that real quick out of the way. Okay, so now to get the quartile 3, you just have to do the upper half. So I'm going to look at the larger numbers, the ones to the right of my median, these numbers over here, and find the middle there. Well, the 5 and the 10 will go by 7 and the 9. So 8 would be my median there, and we call that quartile 3, so I name that 8. Okay, now you need a number line in order, so we have our 5 values. Step 5 is to make our box plot using those 5 values. We're going to plot them on plot them above the number line, and we're going to connect. So let me show you. I'm going to make a number line from 0 to 10. You should do so. I'm going to plot 0 above the 0. I'm going to plot my maximum 10 above 10. Keep them in line, okay, so that you can connect them. Then I'm going to plot quartile 1 at 3, just put a dot, quartile 2 at 5, and quartile 3 at 8. Okay, so first I'm going to bring my 2 whiskers in with as best of a straight line as I can. Okay, and then I'm going to draw vertical lines at each one of those quartiles, and I'm going to connect it across. Okay, so when you look at it, you should be able to tell me what the median is, also known as quartile 2. Oh, that's 5. I look at that middle line in the box. If I ask you what's the quartile 1, you're going to look at the lower part of the box, 3. If I ask you what's quartile 3, you're going to look at the 8. Okay, so those are just words you're going to have to get used to. All right, we're going to do one more example. There's going to be 2 on the next page, but we're only going to do one of them. Let me grab my thing and move over here. Okay, we're going to do number 1. I'm just going to move my picture right over that so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so here's their example, 12, 20, 18, 11, 17, 14, 14, 13, 15. Write that down, and then if you remember what step 1 is, go ahead and do it. Pause me. If you don't remember, step 1 is to put the numbers in order. Okay, so put the numbers in order. Pause. Check back and see if you got it right. Did you pause? Okay, here we go. This is the numbers in order. 11, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 17, 18, 20. Okay, did that first. Step 2, make a table, minimum, maximum. Q1, Q2, Q3. Okay. Identify your minimum, your maximum, and your median. My minimum, the smallest number, is 11. My maximum, the largest number, is 20. And the middle number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers. So it's the 5th number, which is 14, what I circled there. That's my Q2. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit harder. Finding those numbers, the Q1 and the Q3. Now here, I'm looking only here, these numbers, and I want the middle number. Well, I see 11 and 14 would cancel out, and 12 and 13. Oh no. Your median is between two numbers. It's between 12 and 13. You're not going to write both of those numbers. You have to find the average of them. So hopefully you know what's right in the middle of 12 and 13. If you don't, you would do 12 plus 13. You would get 25. And you would do 25 divided by 2. You're finding the average of the two of them. When you do 25 divided by 2, you're going to get 12.5. Okay? And you can practice that off to the side. Just for the sake of time, I'm not going to do all of that with you. We did that in a prior lesson. Okay, now for quartile 3, we have to do the other side. Again, I have 15, 17, 18, 20. It's going to be between 17 and 18. Well, if it's in between two consecutive numbers of 17 and 18, it's going to be 17 and a half. Again, you could add them and divide by 2. So now I have all my numbers. I'm going to draw my number line from my smallest, which is 11. I started at 10 and I went up to 20. I'm going to plot all 5 values. 11 is my minimum. 20 is my maximum. 12 and a half. Well, here's 12. Here's 13. So half is right in the middle. 14 and 17 and a half, which is right between 17 and 18. And I put a dot. Okay, so I bring in the whiskers, the 2 from either side. Then I make vertical lines going up and down. Up. And I go across. Okay, there's your box and whisker plot. Now, you might see a question on IXL. It might ask you something to the effect of 50% of the data lies below what number? Well, when they're talking about 50%, you got to remember that means where 14 is. If they're talking about 25% of the data, that's going to be right here at the 12 and a half mark. 25% is the first quartile. Two boxes is 50%. 3 from our minimum all the way to here, that would be 3 of the quarters, which is 75%. Okay, so you have to kind of try and remember that each one is 25%. Okay, that's it for today. Have a good one. Ah.